York this weekend. UFC 309, the annual trip that Dana White makes here to the great city of New York. Everyone anticipating a big fight. Of course, Jon Jones on the head of that card. We had a chance to catch up with Dana White, the CEO of UFC. He talked a lot about the fight scheduled for this weekend. He talked a lot about his relationship with President-elect Donald Trump, and he talked a lot about expansion for the UFC.
Oh, the Sphere was amazing. But, you know, as far as bucket list, I have things like we're going to do our first fight ever in Africa. We're going to do our first fight ever in Spain, opening up new territories and going back to places that we haven't been to in a while. For instance, I haven't been to Chicago in a long time. We're just talking about Chicago. Start hitting a lot of these cities that we haven't been to pre-COVID.
So you're a Vegas boy. It was kind of like a homecoming for you in many ways, going back home. MGM has said it will offer up T-Mobile Arena as part of an ownership bid to bring an NBA team to Vegas. So as an anchor tenant over at T-Mobile Arena, I'm curious what you think about having three sports companies under one roof in one building. Is that a good thing?
Well, it's fascinating because the NBA stuff has been thrown around, you know, Vegas now for the last few years, and people are going to come in and build a new arena. Is MGM going to do it? Who's going to do it? I don't know. But one thing I can tell you, Vegas is a huge sports town now. I mean, when you really think about it, for years, sports weren't allowed to go to Vegas because of the gambling. Then they got over the whole gambling thing. Now every sport is in Vegas. And when you think about it, if you are a fan of a team, whether you're a fan of the Bulls or the Knicks or whoever, and they go play an away game, where are you going? You're going to a Vegas away game, no doubt about it. So it makes sense, and you know, baseball will be there soon, basketball. It has truly become an amazing sports town.
And of course, you are still keeping tethered to, I guess, the more traditional sports markets. You're here in New York for UFC 309, which is taking place this weekend at Madison Square Gardens. Talk to us. I mean, you kind of only really come here once a year for the big UFC events. Right. Has there been any discussion about doing more events here, or is this just kind of enough?
Well, think about this. Yeah. This Saturday is the #2 biggest gate in the history of MSG.
Yeah.
So now the UFC holds #1, #2, #3, #4, #6, 7, and 9 of the top 10 biggest gates ever at MSG. So in the next couple of years, we'll have 10 of the top 10.
Yeah.
But MSG is always our end of the year big event. Yeah. I don't think that I would come more than once.
And it's bigger this year, obviously, with Jon Jones back in the fold. How are you handling him right now?
Yeah, I've heard some things. It's good. It's good. You know, he's one of those guys that he's the greatest of all time, and you know, never been beat.
Yeah.
In 16 years in the sport, which is unbelievable. And when he does show up to fight. It's special.
If you were to tell someone who's never watched the UFC about Saturday night's event, what would you tell them? What's the selling point?
You know, you might not be the biggest fight fan in the world, but when you go to the UFC live, it's great on TV, it's fun. It is the greatest live sporting event you will ever see. The energy, the buzz in the arena is unbelievable. And obviously, when it happens at Madison Square Garden, it's even more special. You have to see a UFC fight.
Am I going to see potentially President Trump there? President-elect Trump?
You never know. He's a fan. He could possibly pop up.
He's been there before, right?
Oh, yeah. He's come to many, yeah. Actually, he's the one that when we first bought the company and venues didn't love the UFC back then, he opened up the Taj in New Jersey and said, we did our first couple of events there at the Taj. And he showed up for the first one and stayed till the last fight. That was when he became a fan.
I know you've been friends with him for a long time. Any plans to actually work for him in his new administration?
I want nothing to do with politics. No, I do not, no.
We mentioned the Sphere fight earlier. Potential media suitors, I believe, were at that event as well. I'm curious what kind of feedback they had for you on that.
Yeah, well, the other thing is that UFC's rights are coming up now. And, you know, we'll end up either re-signing with ESPN or a new partner here in 25. And I have this philosophy, like when I grew up, we had Channel 3, Channel 5, and Channel 13, Channel 8 and 13, and then we had like 33 cable channels. When you think about this business and you think about what's the ceiling, the ceiling is 8 billion people. There's 8 billion people in the world, and I believe over the next 10 years, we'll see how this shakes out. Is it Amazon, YouTube, Disney? Who's it going to be that will be the Channel 3, Channel 5, Channel 8, and Channel 13 globally around the world? And like we were just talking about, as we continue to find new talent, from all these different countries in every part of the world. We are the largest pay-per-view provider on earth. We're in over 1 billion homes worldwide.
Right.
And as we continue to grow and create new stars, the sport's only going to get bigger.
You dominate pay-per-view here, but do you see value in having, I guess, a permanent home with one of the streaming networks?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that whoever we do the next deal with, we'll be with for 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anyone you favor? Any company you favor?
I tell you this. We started on ESPN 7 years ago. We had a rocky relationship in the beginning. I couldn't be happier at ESPN.
Okay.
Literally, it's a great relationship. We work really well together. And, yeah, I wouldn't mind staying with ESPN.
Are there any revenue streams that you haven't tapped into that you're looking to that, you know, is on your bucket list for 2025, 2026?
We're going to start doing jiu-jitsu. Everything combat sports, you know, our ticker symbol is TKO.
Yeah.
TKO will have everything. Boxing, slapping, jiu-jitsu, MMA.